The Cosmology of War, Part 3, The Shadow Architects and the Mirror. In Part 1, I showed you the Mars cluster. 5 actors, 1 2-degree band, the same fire, the serpent's blood already in the water. In Part 2, I showed you the trigger, the Saros bloodline, and the 4 Persian watchers presiding over the alchemical operations running through the Gulf. The chieftains of Asha transmitting the very mind of Ahura Mazda into the waters, the fire, the blood, and the unborn. Now I am going to show you the men behind the men, the power that does not carry the weapon, but placed it on the table before the warriors entered the room. And then I am going to show you the mirror that connects this war to Kennedy, to Apollo, to the Cold War, and to the transit that has accompanied every American convulsion for 250 years. The men on the visible stage, Trump, Netanyahu, Kent, Huckabee, and the State of Israel, all carry Mars in Leo. That is the weapon. But a weapon does not place itself on the table. Something deeper does. And when you look at the charts of the 2 men directing the shadow architecture of this war, you find it immediately. Vladimir Putin, born October 7, 1952, Sun at 13 degrees Libra, Mars at 26 degrees Sagittarius, Pluto at 22 degrees Leo, South Node at 18 degrees Leo, conjunct his own Pluto. Xi Jinping, born June 15, 1953, Sun at 23 degrees Gemini, Mars at 0 degrees Cancer, Pluto at 21 degrees Leo, South Node in Leo. Both men carry natal Pluto in Leo. Putin at 22 degrees, Xi at 21. Hold that against the Mars cluster. Every visible actor in this war carries Mars in Leo at 26 to 28 degrees. Mars is the weapon, Pluto is the hand that placed it there. Pluto does not swing the sword. Pluto is the deep power drive, the obsession with control, the force that operates from beneath the visible surface. This is the exact role Russia and China are playing. The intelligence architecture, the financial depth, the $400 billion energy partnership that keeps Iran's economy alive under sanctions. The rare earth monopoly that can halt production of every Western weapons system with a single export freeze. The commercial satellite infrastructure that sees everything the Pentagon does not want seen. They are not in the Mars room, they are in the Pluto basement underneath it, and everything in the room runs on what they supply from below. The Washington Post and CBS confirmed in March 2026 that Moscow has supplied Iran with targeting data on American warships, aircraft, and assets, satellite imagery, command node locations, lessons drawn directly from Ukrainian battlefields. The Financial Times exposed a confidential arms pact in February 2026. Iran acquiring thousands of Russian Verba manpads and cruise missile systems accelerated after the June 2025 exchanges. The United States intelligence community's 2026 annual threat assessment named the selective trilateral tightening, Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, as a force multiplier of each actor's threat profile. And China's layer runs through dual-use commerce and state-adjacent supply chains, solid rocket fuel precursors, navigation components, sensor technology, documented in U.S. Treasury designations and Western intelligence assessments. The astrological architecture named this structure before the document surfaced. The Pluto basement was always there. The leak simply turned on the light. And both of them were born with their South Node conjunct that Pluto. The South Node is the karmic past, the pattern the soul knows how to run without thinking, the groove worn deep by lifetimes of repetition. Putin's South Node at 18 degrees Leo conjuncts his Pluto at 22 degrees Leo. Power is his karmic inheritance. The machinery of dominance, the architecture of empire, his soul runs this pattern the way a pianist runs scales. His North Node at 18 degrees Aquarius says his evolutionary direction is toward the collective, toward the distributed intelligence of the Aquarian age. He has spent his entire life sprinting in the opposite direction, back toward the throne, back toward the singular center of power. Xi's South Node in Leo conjuncts his Pluto at 21 degrees Leo. Identical instruction. His North Node in early Aquarius carries the same demand. Release personal dominion, serve the collective awakening. Both men are running their South Nodes. And now Pluto has moved into Aquarius permanently for the first time since the American and French revolutions, approaching conjunction with both men's north nodes. This is the transit that says the universe is done waiting for you to evolve voluntarily. The evolutionary direction you refused becomes the force that dismantles you. Now look deeper, past the Leo-Pluto to the sun signs, the core identity. Putin is Libra, Netanyahu is Libra. The two alliance architects, one who built the Krink axis across the largest landmass on Earth, one who built the US-Israel war coalition, both carry the sign of the scales. Libra is the sign of partnership, strategic calculation, the weighing of outcomes before any move is made. These are the men who built the alliances before the missiles flew. Trump is Gemini, Xi is Gemini, the two masters of the double narrative, one who tells two contradictory stories from the same podium and calls it strength, the other who leaks satellite data to Iran while publicly calling for de-escalation. Both carry the sign of the twins. The visible war and the shadow war are being run by the same zodiacal pair, Gemini and Libra, air and air, just flipped. This is not symmetry as metaphor. It is the field showing you that these four men are operating from the same intelligence, the air element's mastery of narrative, alliance, and information as the primary instrument of power. Gemini builds the story, Libra builds the coalition. Neither can function without the other. The war is not being fought between opposites, it is being fought between mirrors, and a mirror cannot defeat its own reflection. It can only shatter both. And there is a layer beneath even the sun signs. Putin and Xi were born 8 months apart, under the same generational conjunction, Saturn conjunct Neptune in Libra. Putin carries it at 17 and 21 degrees, Xi at 20 and 21 degrees, one signature, one institutional DNA. Saturn-Neptune conjunctions are the moments when the relationship between hard power and collective illusion is renegotiated, when the architecture of empire braids itself through fantasy, when dominance dresses as partnership, when the machinery of control presents itself as order. These two men are karmic twins, born under that single conjunction, carrying the same power drive, sharing the same nodal axis from Leo to Aquarius. They found each other across 11 time zones and built the alliance that is now fueling this war from beneath. Now that same Saturn-Neptune cycle has returned at 0 degrees Aries, the same conjunction I showed you in parts 1 and 2, the reset at the resurrection degree. Its return does not just reset civilization's operating system. It squares both men's natal Uranus, Putin's at 18 degrees Cancer, Xi's at 17 degrees Cancer. The conjunction that is restructuring the world is destabilizing the very foundation these men built their power upon. The dream they wove together in Libra is being disciplined by the same cycle, returning in Aries, at the world axis with maximum pressure. Now let me show you how the shadow feeds the weapon. Putin's Mars sits at 26 degrees Sagittarius. The Mars cluster sits at 26 to 28 degrees Leo. 26 degrees. Fire to fire. Sagittarius and Leo are both fire signs. A trine, 120 degrees, is the aspect of natural, effortless flow. Energy moves without friction, without resistance, as if it was always going to arrive exactly there. Putin's Mars trines the Mars cluster exactly. He does not carry the weapon in the room. He feeds it through the fire trine, the targeting data, the satellite reconnaissance, the electronic warfare systems designed to blind Western stealth fighters, the intelligence architecture that has been running since the January massacres. The exact role Russia plays in this war is written in his birth chart as a geometric relationship to the men waging it. And Sagittarius is not just any fire. It is the fire of ideology, the sign of the crusade, the philosophical conviction that your violence serves a higher truth, the sacred narrative that makes the machinery of war feel like destiny. Putin's Mars in Sagittarius does not just supply weapons, it supplies the cosmological justification for using them. Russia's entire geopolitical framing, the defense of civilization against Western hegemony, the multipolar world as spiritual destiny, the special military operation as the protection of the Russian-speaking soul, is Sagittarian Mars expressing through the exact degree that connects him geometrically to the men on the visible stage. Xi's Mars at 0 degrees Cancer sits at the summer solstice point, one of the 4 world axis degrees. the cardinal anchors of the Earth's seasonal turning. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries squares his Mars exactly. A square is maximum pressure, the tension that forces a choice between moving forward and being stopped. China's posture in this war is the posture of a man whose martial instinct is being constrained by the force restructuring civilization itself. The careful restraint. The satellite leaks that serve Iran while maintaining plausible deniability. The long positioning as the only available mediator once both sides are exhausted. Xi cannot move freely. He can only maneuver inside the pressure. Now hold the full field. The visible warriors with Mars in Leo, the shadow architects with Pluto in Leo, the fire trine and the world axis square. And watch what happened when the moon closed the circuit on all of them. Ali Larijani, Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, the architect of the January massacres, was killed under the new moon at 28 degrees Pisces, landing exactly on his natal Mars. Dissolution meeting the warrior in the waters of the dissolving age. Simultaneously, that moon opposed his natal Pluto at 29 degrees Leo, the anaretic degree, the crisis point, the highest and most volatile degree in the entire Leo field that connects every actor in this war. His Pluto at 29 Leo sits conjunct the Mars of Trump, Netanyahu, Kent, Huckabee, and Israel. And it sits conjunct the Pluto of Putin and Xi. He shared the same power field as every man in this transmission. When the moon came, it closed the circuit on all of them simultaneously, visible warriors, shadow architects, and the man who served both from beneath. His death is part of their karmic field, all of them, both sides. The moon was square his natal Mercury at the moment of his death, communications silenced. And then watch how that Mercury silencing conjugated through the entire field in 3 different tenses. Larijani was silenced by the moon, the messenger killed while carrying the architecture of war. Joe Kent, as I noted in part 1, resigned on the equinox itself, the first day of his own sign, when Uranus squared his natal nodes at the same Leo degrees. His resignation was a Mercury event, a man saying, "I will not lend my voice to this." The messenger who refused. Karazi, the former foreign minister overseeing the only remaining thread of back-channel peace negotiations, was wounded in a strike while his wife was killed beside him. The messenger destroyed mid-sentence while carrying the only path to resolution between the warring parties. 3 Mercury events, 3 expressions of the same verb conjugated through every tense. The messenger silenced by death. The messenger who refused. The messenger destroyed while speaking. The pattern does not repeat. It completes itself through every available form simultaneously. And the field registers the refusal. Rupert Sheldrake's research on morphic resonance demonstrates that once a pattern is established in a living system, it becomes easier for similar systems elsewhere to repeat it. Not through direct communication, but through the resonance of the pattern itself becoming available. A single clear choice registers in the morphic field as a new available habit. The same Leo degree that detonated war can also detonate guardianship. The same fire that burns a city can warm a hearth. The architecture does not choose for you. You choose inside it. Trump answered with force, Netanyahu with escalation, Putin with intelligence feeds and ideological narrative, Xi with silent financial architecture, Huckabee with diplomatic cover. Kent answered by walking away. Same field, 6 answers. And only one of them broke the track. That refusal, even when it changed nothing visible, even when the machine kept running without him, seeded a pattern in the morphic field that was not available before he made it. Now the mirror. Because this war is rhyming with a precision that cannot be coincidence. John F. Kennedy was a Gemini sun. He served at the height of Cold War I, the structural confrontation between the United States and the Soviet Union. He launched the Apollo program as an extension of that confrontation, a demonstration that free civilization could reach beyond its rival. And he was assassinated under an eclipse from the same Saros bloodline that is active right now, carrying the same relational question about who controls the narrative of power. Donald Trump is a Gemini sun. He is serving at the height of what the architecture of this transmission can only call Cold War II, the structural confrontation between the US-led order and the Krink axis dismantling it. On the day he addressed the nation about bombing Iran back to the Stone Age, he praised the astronauts of Artemis II as they launched toward the moon, the first crewed lunar mission in over 50 years. The same nation, the same sun sign, the same war and moon race pairing, the same Saros eclipse lineage overhead, Artemis answering Apollo across 60 years. And the moon race is the war continued by other means. The Artemis program, the United States and its Artemis Accords coalition, is building one architecture on the lunar surface. China and Russia, with Pakistan, Egypt, South Africa, Venezuela, and the CRINC-aligned nations, are building the International Lunar Research Station. The same alliances on opposite sides of the Gulf are on opposite sides of the moon. The rare earth monopoly that can freeze Western weapons production is the same monopoly that controls the minerals required for lunar infrastructure. The Strait of Hormuz and the lunar South Pole are two expressions of the same choke point logic. Control the bottleneck, control the system. The war for the Gulf and the race for the moon are the same geopolitical contest projected onto two different stages. All of it is unfolding under Uranus and Gemini. This is the transit that has accompanied every defining American convulsion. In 1774, Uranus entered Gemini as the colonies began to organize rebellion. The First Continental Congress, the information networks of revolution forming before anyone had named what they were building. In 1859, Uranus entered Gemini as the Civil War was loading, Neptune entering Aries that same year, exactly as Neptune entered Aries again in this cycle. In 1941, Uranus entered Gemini as the United States entered the Second World War, the age of radar, code breaking, computing, communication technology married to the capacity for total destruction, and the birth of the Cold War architecture that defined the following half-century. Now, 2025 to 2033, the AI age, the surveillance state, Cold War II, Space Race II, and on July 4, 2026, America's 250th birthday, Mars conjuncts Uranus at 3 degrees Gemini. The United States was founded under a Mars-Uranus conjunction in Gemini. Every time that signature recurs in the sky, the nation meets itself at its deepest question: what was the revolution for, and does it still serve the principle that launched it? The information revolution does not come for one side. It comes for the whole mirror at once, and as this transmission reaches you, the mirror is confirming. Today, April 6, 2026, Israel struck South Pars, Iran's largest petrochemical facility at Asaluya, responsible for approximately 50% of the country's petrochemical production, shared with Qatar at the world's largest natural gas field. Israeli Defense Minister Katz announced it directly. Netanyahu had named it the day before, their money machine. The lion's Mars degrees roaring at the economic foundation of the civilization whose royal stars are watching from above. This is Aldebaran's calcinatio at the scale of a nation's nervous system, the refiner's fire asking what it has always asked. What is irreducible? What is the calcium, the bone, the thing that survives when everything else has burned? Simultaneously, a strike landed 75 meters from the perimeter of Iran's Bushehr nuclear power plant, confirmed by the International Atomic Energy Agency. 75 meters. The threshold between a strike and a nuclear incident is 75 meters of Iranian earth. Fomalhaut's coagulatio is not abstract. What Gabriel announces in the hours following this transmission will be written into the morphic record of this civilization for generations. Iran's response was immediate: strikes on Kuwait's desalination infrastructure and Bahrain's oil storage facilities. The serpent's blood extending further into the regional water supply. Apa-Osha is not a metaphor. The demon of sterility and drought is operating at industrial scale through the chemistry of coordinated war. Trump's deadline, what he called Power Plant Day, expires as you listen. His words on Truth Social: Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one, in Iran. There will be nothing like it. The man carrying Mars at 26 degrees Leo, born on a total lunar eclipse, standing at the Mithraic grade whose threshold demand is purity of action and purity of speech, announcing the deliberate targeting of civilian power infrastructure through profanity and exclamation marks on social media. Mithra is watching. The Yazata, whose presence sanctifies covenants, and whose absence means no oath can hold. Watching the man at his degrees announce the bombing of power plants, the way a man announces a sale. The covenant is not merely broken, it is being mocked at the threshold where it was supposed to be honored. Brent crude trades at $109 per barrel. Traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has fallen from 150 vessels per day to 10 to 20. The choke point logic is no longer architecture. It is the number of ships carrying liquid natural gas to Asia, fertilizer to Africa, and jet fuel to the world, falling from 150 to 10. What is being poured into Fomalhaut's mouth today? The South Pars strike, the Bushehr near miss, the Kuwait desalination loss, the Hormuz stranglehold entering its 6th week, is the chemical and economic signature of a civilization choosing Druge at every threshold where Asha was available. The Cosmology named this structure before the evidence arrived. The natal chart degrees are real. The Saros families are documented. The Bundahishan cosmogony is ancient and verified. What the planetary intelligence showed in the sky is now confirmed on the ground, in the water, in the fire, by AP, Reuters, The Times of Israel, NPR, and Euronews. This is part 3. In part 4, I will show you the full corridor of thresholds still ahead. From now through November, the cascade of transits firing in sequence through the sign where every leader carries their fire. I will show you Geneva, where the world attempts to govern artificial intelligence under the most volatile transits of the year. I will share the science, what Pollak's 4th phase water is recording, what the children's epigenomes are carrying forward, what the morphic field is holding in the sediment and the placenta. And I will show you the carrying, the distributed coherence already moving through human hands at different coordinates, seeding the new available habit into a field that registers every choice. The watchers command their stations, the field is responsive, and we, standing at the same degrees, determine what comes next.